going here?
FBI, you might want to stay out of this, all right, sir? Excuse me, sir. Ma'am, please, back off. All right, I need 8 double tall.
So you have to ask yourself, what's going on today that the Dark Jedi is live? And I say, yes. Woo, baby. Happy Friday to you. Happy August 11th. And it is absolutely my pleasure and my coffee spilling pleasure to be live and raw. Come on, how long has it been since it's been the Dark Jedi and yours truly, or the Hot Toys Wizard and yours truly, or TK FOMO and yours truly? Many different sides that goes along with the many drops coming from Hot Toys. It is absolutely unbelievable. What do I think about this Midas, if you will, quarter scale Iron Man? We're going to get into that for sure. Very limited indeed. What do I think about the new Giancarlo Esposito, the new Moff Gideon? We're going to be getting into that. Do I have some news from the crystal ball on something about Axe Woves? How about Katan? How about some other insane drops that are going to be coming? How many of them, baby? How many are going to be limited? And I mean really limited. We're going to dive into all of that here in this very special episode of Six Scale Live with the Dark Jedi. And let me pull some of this up on the screen. We have got my friend, Lane Kramer in the house, a regular here on Six Scale Raw on Mondays, of course, at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, including this Monday. How many Hot Toys, he says, will the Aries, he should have said, will the Dark Jedi be having the pre-order by the end of this month, is what he's wondering. You know, I was just kind of thinking through that, Lane. And for any of you in there, feel free, like Lane is, to ask me. You got me alone here. I don't got a panel. So you could ask the Dark Jedi any and all questions you want about this stuff we're going to get into, or about anything about collecting or what's going on with Hot Toys. But honestly, Lane, this is what's going on right now for me.
There are too many of them. What are we going to do?
What am I going to do? And that's right from table 2. That's where young Anakin is sitting. Let me play it again.
There are too many of them. What are we going to do?
I don't know, Lane, but good to have you in the cantina, my dear friend. I hope you're having a great day. Looking forward to chatting with you here today as well. Let's put some of the other people up here. And we have got Benjamin E. Green. What's going on, buddy? Six Scale Cantina, happy Friday to you. My brother, love your show and content. Yeah, you know, I really appreciate that, my friend. Let's go ahead and fill you up. Sitting there at table 66 with the Emperor is this guy, baby. A lot of power here, dude.
You underestimate my power.
Ooh, that Anakin boy. So much to talk about with Anakin. Good to have Benjamin E. Green in the house as well. We have got Boba Fettuccine. Look, I didn't even have lunch yet, but I got plenty of coffee, baby. In the official Six Scale Cantina mug. Is it possible? You have to Mick wonder. Yeah. Bubba Fettuccine, all is well. Thanks. Drop drunk after seeing the new Moff. I'm going to talk about that. You know, what's my impressions on that? Absolutely. Best Scar Kid, good friend in the house, saying celebrating the end of a 58-day Star Wars pre-order drought with a banger drop. I am right there with you. Collector Joey, great guy in the house. Collector Joey, thank you so much for being in here, saying spill it. Look, you have to wonder with this Moff Gideon, you know, did I do this, Collector Joey? About with the quarter scale Midas, if you will, Iron Man. We're going to talk about it. Ryan, Mr. Mom, what a great channel is in here. Mr. Mom's Collectibles is up in here. What is going on, buddy? Good to have you in here for sure. Red in the Ledgers in the house saying happy Friday to all. Come on. And Mr. Mom's Collectibles says Faith has been rewarded with more Mando Season 3 figures and more to come. Always have patience and it will be rewarded. You know, that is a good point. Always have patience. And, you know, you have to ask yourself, Ryan, you know, who's the guy in Star Wars who talks about patience a lot? You know, it is Obi-Wan. And if you have patience like Obi-Wan, you're maybe going to get this real quick, man.
General Kenobi, you are a bold one.
Man, that would rooted hair. That would rooted hair. Come on, Mark Attack. What is going on? Good to have you in here. I'm going to try to get to everybody that I can in here. Eat and E.T. Morris is in here. Say, asking Aries, are you going to pre-order the Gandalf and Aragorn from InArt? You know, I have every plan to be honest with you. That's what I want from some of these new companies. I don't necessarily, I'm going to say, want the same figures Hot Toys is coming out with. I don't necessarily want Hot Toys to come out with the same figures that InArt is going to come out with and any of these new companies coming out. I want different stuff. You know, Hot Toys doesn't do the Gandalf and Aragorn. I mean, I think the Asmus ones are okay. They're good. But the way that those look on InArt, I think I may be building a Lord of the Rings collection, baby. Just to be honest with you. And he's with big biobs, but no quarter scale MK2 diecast unleashed, which was teased last year or so. Yeah, no, I hear you, my friend. Good to have you in here. Valiant Archer is in the house. Have the tables in the Hoth Lounge waitlisted yet. It says almost gone. It says almost gone, just like they do, you know, on sideshows sometimes, my friend. So, but I think for you, you know, it's pretty possible that, you know, there could be something in there left. Is there a table? Is there something? Is there a Han coming?
Oh, really? You're cold?
Too cold. Don't get too cold because I may have some crystal ball news on that as well. The collector number one, great guys in here. Gideon already on day one pre-order for me. We're going to get into that. AJ is in the house saying that he is sitting in table 66. And do you think that today is a good day, AJ?
Good.
Yeah, I think so. The Thor is in a house saying greetings, Ari, and greetings to all. Gee, Thor, you know, what clip did I always used to pay for you? Are you sitting at table 2? I mean, are you, my friend? I sure do. I sure do hope so, because here it comes for you, baby.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another.
And the Loco Lou is in the house. Loco Lou's a great guy. You guys need to subscribe to Loco Lou. I was on his with my good friend Jay, brother cousin's show last night. I tell you what, Lou, wasn't that a banger of a show? I mean, we just kept talking. It was really good. I really enjoyed myself last night. Loco Lou, really appreciate you being in here, baby. Make sure you guys hit up and subscribe to Loco Lou. Got to get Loco Lou on Raw. I know you're working a lot, baby. Let me know when you can come on because you are in. All right, we've got Clone Trooper in here. What's going on? I tried to get into the Katina, but I was put on the wait list. I know, baby. You know what? I got an opening now. I got an opening because we just came in with some deliveries of food, so every table's going to get filled up with this.
You're delicious.
Ciao, boys.
The single song writer is in the house, and I love to do this to the songwriter because you have to wonder: is this what they call
him the Wizard?
And the insane one is in the house. What is going on as well? El Kitfito. And if I missed you, just keep going on in there. I will get to you. Clink is in here. Happy Friday to you for sure. Listen, we've got this Iron Man, this quarter scale Iron Man, this golden Iron Man, this Midas-like Iron Man, this very, very limited Iron Man to discuss. We have got Moff Gideon to discuss. What do I think about it? What's going on with the rooted hair? Bo-Katan. Is that coming like next? Is that going to be Monday? What about Axe Woves? Do I have other stuff in the crystal ball? Let's go ahead and dive into all of this right now. And welcome to another episode of Aries Tarrington's Live and Raw right here at the Six Scale Cantina. A very special episode for sure. And please go ahead right now and smash that like button. I so do very much appreciate your support. And hey, go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe to Six Scale Cantina. Come on. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Now, listen, everybody who's in here watching, you get an opportunity to ask me anything you want on anything going on here today or anything we're collecting. If I don't answer you, just keep going because I'm only one guy here. I don't even got a paddle out here today, so I'm going to try and catch everything. And we're going to talk about this stuff. But go ahead and just keep asking the questions, and we will go ahead and get into it. You can see the banner right here. And I'm going to go ahead and blow this up just a little bit because this is very, very exciting to me today to talk about this. But that's the banner for today's show. Look at that Moff Gideon. Look at that Iron Man. You see Bo-Katan right above my head. And you also see Axe Woves. Now, how am I putting up this banner of the show that we're watching? This is at sixscalecantina.com. If you don't have sixscalecantina.com bookmarked, go ahead and do it, baby. It's free. It has all your latest news on what's going on in Six Scale Cantina and all your market news as well on what's going on. Look, a lot of you have known sixscalecantina.com as the market chart for Star Wars. But I'm happy to announce that it's also going to have market charts for everything DC, everything Hot Toys, including a DX section, and your top 15 or so for Marvel, because there's just so many of them coming soon. But I will tell you that the biggest mover section, which is the menu tab that I'm on right now, already is starting to integrate not just Star Wars, but all Six Scale Hot Toys figures within its section. And if you go here right now, baby, you would see as of last week, and we're going to get a market show up this weekend at some point, look at some of this stuff skyrocketing up in here. Cad Bane, Moon Knight, Both of those unbelievable. Neo from the Matrix, right up there now. Forget about the Wonder Woman. I didn't even get a chance to put this on, but I could pull that up. What the Wonder Woman is going for right now, that 100th one. Go look up Tim Cent right now on eBay. Go look that up on eBay. $900. How about not Tim Cent? Why don't you look up Toys for Adults? $900. This is Dark Side Anakin money. We're going to be talking about that. That Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, forget about it. DX24, 25 Luke. Look at all this stuff in here. You're seeing the diversity in here. It's growing at sixscalecantina.com. Don't forget to go ahead and bookmark that baby. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about some of this stuff here today and some of this breaking news. And I'm going to pull this up onto the screen. And let's go ahead and start off first with this Iron Man figure. And I'm going to be honest with you. Pretty sweet. This is pretty sweet. And it's a quarter scale. Golden color version. They're not calling it a Midas version, but in my view, basically a repaint. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's kind of a cool exclusive. Even though we have this already, and it's a repaint, this is the kind of I would feel anyway. And like I said, I've got an Iron Man Mark 47, starting to get some of them. I'm not going to get all of them, but for Iron Man, this is pretty cool. Pretty cool, and extremely limited. And the Wolf's Blood 6 puts up a comment in here. Oh, quarter scale? Thought this was 1/6. Would have been pointless. Yeah. No, gotcha. Red in the Ledger also says, like that display case. Thank you, baby. My displays are interesting. Benjamin asks me a question here. Aries, will there be a Hot Toys Axe Woves head sculpt?
And I say yes.
You bet your arse, Benjamin. Look, they already showed you. We're going to talk about it a little bit later in the show. Once we get through some of these other things here. But they already showed you another armor, and we still have the armor up in stock. Okay, let's just be honest about it. Okay, they just showed you Moff Gideon, which we're going to get into here, and we already have another Moff Gideon in stock. Is it possible, Benjamin, that even though we have, an Axe Woves in stock without a head sculpt, that Howard and Hot Toys would unveil an all-new Axe Woves with the head sculpt from the Mando Season 3? And I say yes. I say yes. Let's continue to go over this. Ask me any question you want. Comment on this Iron Man. First, couple of questions here. Says clear acrylic display case. With a mechanical patterns and serial number. I tell you what, that's pretty cool. What do you guys think about this case? What do you think about the serial number? Now, I believe that this is 300 all around, right? I'm going to try and blow it up because I want to see it on the bottom here. Yeah, you can see it right on the screen. 0 to 300. So some of you may know in here with this. Is this 300 just in the States and Europe? 300 just in Hong Kong? Or 300 anywhere? Because I believe that this is celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Shanghai store, right? Right? Am I right? Let me know in the chat if I'm right on that. But I believe that this is just a saying right on here. 300 altogether. And if this is the case, this is ultra ultra freaking rare. And you're already seeing that Wonder Woman version going for, the artisan Wonder Woman with the wool hair. Again, Tim sent Toys for Adults, $900 right now, and they're selling. What does everybody in the chat think this would go for at the end of the day? Lane, I know you're in here watching. And I know you have some thoughts on some of these Iron Mans, if they'll go, if they don't, some of them don't. Lane, what do you think this would go for with this being labeled at 300, continuing to go over? This is pretty sweet. Specialty features multiple shades. I like that about this. Like, look at the chest plate, look at the ribs, look at the back plate of metal, metallic gold color, and chrome plated armor pieces. Pretty sweet. There's a pretty sweet figure, ladies and gentlemen. Shanghai exclusive, exactly, says Mark Attack. And I think that not only is this a Shanghai exclusive, but this is celebrating the 1-year anniversary of that store in Shanghai as well. Thank you for that. Clone Trooper says, it says available in Hong Kong only. And Boba Fettuccine, getting me more hungry, says it's 300 all in. And Boba Fettuccine also says, great, they're serializing these. Is that a new trend? Is that something that we're going to be starting to see more of with this? How many of you would like to see more of that with this? Let me know in the chat below. Kyle says, smash, hit that like button. I am totally in line with you with this. AJ says, oh, I missed that this was super limited for a store celebration. I'm totally fine with this one now. I thought it was a wide release. Specific event makes total sense now. I tell you what, I wonder how many of these, AJ, because I was thinking about this today. There seems to be a whole lot. There seems to be a ton. There seems to be a vast array. There seems to be a myriad of exclusives, numbered, now serialized figures that are forthcoming from Hot Toys. And you have to wonder, is it just because there's a 1-year anniversary for the Shanghai store this year? Is it just because there's a 100th anniversary of Walt Disney this year? Is it just because there's a 20th anniversary of the Clone Wars, and there's also a 20th anniversary of the Pirates of the Caribbean? Just letting you know as well. Is it just because there's a 40th anniversary of the Return of the Jedi? Or is it because this is the dawning of a new era, a new mechanism, as I talked about on Brother Cousin's show yesterday, on these being super, super rare? Sebastian Royball is in the house. What's up, buddy? He says, hi, Aries. When will we see more Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary announcements coming? You're going to be hit with that like a tidal wave, baby. Coming very, 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 very quickly. I suspect it's going to be right here at the end of the summer and towards the beginning of the fall with the new Ahsoka series. You're going to get that laced in, and will a second version of this one be one of them, Sebastian?
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
You have to wonder if Howard watches all these contents and watches everybody and looks at everything and actually, says this.
Everything that has transpired has done so according to my design.
Cheers to you all. You're watching Six Scale Live with the Dark Jedi here on a very special day. Did the fun begin
This is
yet?
where the fun begins.
Come on, baby. Absolutely crazy. Eric's in the house. What's up, my friend? Says, cool Iron Man. Yeah, I agree. Maximum Rex goes, Marvel, blah, blah, blah. Where is C3PO? Listen, baby, listen. You said blah, blah, blah to Marvel. You know, some Marvel fans may think this is rude. Good to have you in here, Maximum Rest. God, I miss doing this by myself, to be completely honest with you. Red in the Ledger goes, that's the story. The first serialized version. And I agree. I believe that this is the story here. Is this one and done? Red in the Ledger. And I think that there's some stuff right now. We're going to talk about it once we get to that Moff Gideon. You're seeing some crazy figures just announced some months ago, now including that Scout Trooper. You're seeing it with Commander Fox for the 20th anniversary. You're starting to see it with the collector edition of the 40th Return of the Jedi Vader. Go figure. You're starting to see it with the Black Panther mech tech. You're starting to see it with the Christian Bale Dark Knight trilogy Armory release. All those stock warnings. All those stock warnings. It's absolutely crazy. I don't mind it being numbered, says Eric. And Boba Fettuccini says this. Let me read it. If they start to serialize more figures, it'll be a deterrent to bogus dealers. They'll be able to trace exactly where the figure was originally shipped to, then cut off dealers who sell it to them. I didn't even think about people that is it possible, Boba Fettuccini? I think that is a very, very interesting point that you bring up. I mean, is there more than one thing? Is there more than one thing here that Hot Toys is looking to accomplish by serializing? And I think that when you go ahead and you implement new mechanisms, you implement change, there's usually a driving force. And I think the driving force is the economy is, it's just inflation is very high right now. Things have to be reset. And I think that money is the driving force, which correlates into this. But you can go ahead and take care of a few things at the same time, one being a greater initiative than the other. But good thoughts. Red in the Ledger says, my guess would be a Return of the Jedi figure or two in September and another 2 or 3 in December. Well, let's say you're right. We get 2 in September. Let's say we get 3 in December. That's 5. We already got 2. That's 7. That's not bad, Red in the Ledger, because if you remember what happened this past December, everybody, what happened this past December with Wave 2 of the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 in December. We're not even halfway through August yet. I think, Red in the Ledger, you're right. I venture to guess even more than that, my friend, before the end of the year. AJ says, I could totally see a full cloak and chair, too. I think you're talking about that Emperor clip I put up. Great stuff. Sean Beam, what's going on, baby? Good to have you in here. Sean Beam says, my heart skipped a beat when I saw this Iron Man. Thank God he is 1/4 scale. Yeah, pretty cool for a quarter scale, don't you think? I'm kind of cool with this. I'm kind of real cool with this. What do you guys think this is going to go for in the secondary market? What do you think this is going to go for? Mark Attack says they should be serialized. They should do serialized releases of random characters from Jabba's palace. Oh, gosh. It'd be cool, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, come on. Everyone go into the Emperor here. Valiant Archer. USB-powered Emperor. God. I mean, yeah, it would be pretty darn cool to have a USB powered Emperor, my friend. I really, really do. Gosh.
No. No. No.
Love doing this. Love doing this. Single Songwriter goes 884 without shipping. What are you saying is 884 without shipping, Songwriter? Is that the Wonder Woman right now I was talking about up on eBay on a couple of those reputable sellers? Or are you saying that that's going to be the price of this Iron Man figure? Let me know if this is the price that you're seeing up there in Hong Kong for sure. Let's go to more of this particular release here. Look at more of the pictures. That's cool. I mean, just look at that. I'm going to kind of blow that up a little bit. Marvel Studios Iron Man Mark III golden color version collectible figure QS 024 numbered out of 300. Wow. Is this a new trend? Would you like them to do this with more? Would you like them to do this with regular exclusive releases that are limited to not just 300, but maybe 1,500? How about releases limited to like the Arena Suit Fet for Star Wars at 3,000 pieces? What about pieces limited to 3,000, like staying with Star Wars, the Rooted Hair Artisan DX Anakin Skywalker? Would you have liked that? How about for the 4,000 for the Rooted Hair Artisan DX Joker? What do you think about this? I kind of dig it. I kind of like it. And I kind of like this figure for sure. Very, 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 very super rare. Let me know in the chat. That looks really cool if you put it on top. That looks really, really cool in that picture there. It's Iron Man. I mean, look, and I know that people would say another Iron Man, another Spider-Man. This is Hot Toys. This is their bread and butter. I mean, no one does Iron Man better. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty wild. Pretty wicked. That looks pretty nice. Let's blow that up. Let's blow that up. I love the different paint shades that they have in here. Quarter scale, the limited, the collectability on this is just so sick. Let's look at the back of it. How many of you, if you could get this figure, if you were able to get it at the price that they were giving it for there, and I think Songwriter, you put it in there, but I'll look back at the chat. Would you buy this at that price, whatever the price it is, if you were able to buy it? Does this exclusivity, does this numbered system, would that make you or prompt you to go ahead and get that figure? Let me go ahead and blow this up again so that we can see it on the screen this way. Going into the comments. Hold my balls is in the house. Dude, it's good to see you, my man. What is going on? I felt like I haven't seen you in a minute there, baby. But let's fill you up at table 2.
Coffee regular. Love it. You know, that's breast milk.
Cheers to hold me balls. Up on there, come on. It's nice to look at, says Single Songwriter, but I'm staying with the 1/6 scale lane. I totally understand that. There's only so many lanes we can get down. Single Songwriter goes, Howard gets 001. Yeah. Secondary market Iron Man, 300 pieces. Eric Hankey says, need more 20th anniversary Clone Wars figures, more Clone Wars figures to come. 884 without shipping is what the Songwriter says. And RG's in the house says, with Hot Toys limiting productivity on figures, I would be surprised with them serializing all figures here on out. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, there may be a story, there may be a trend, there may be breadcrumbs, RG, to follow here with what's going on. Now we're seeing the first serialized hot toy. Okay, goes along with this Iron Man, this pretty cool Iron Man, this very, very rare and limited quarter scale Iron Man, celebrating the 1-year anniversary at the Shanghai store, Shanghai exclusive, unveiled today from Hot Toys. Breaking news. Is this, when you're seeing some of this stuff, there's a lot more than ever I remembered of this exclusivity, of these limited runs being published, all going on in the same time, in correlation with all of these pre-orders hitting waitlist well before they're due to come out. And at first, between 6 to 8 months' time, and now, with the ones that were announced this year, many of them just within 2 or 3 months, already getting low stock warnings. Is this all connected? Is there a greater story here? Is there something going on? And I think that it's very, very possible. And we're going to talk about that as we go ahead and pivot to the Moff Gideon. And putting this up on the screen from Leandras of Sparta, I think we might see a Gamorrean guard or a Bib Fortuna. Just a feeling. And a new emperor. And you have to wonder, my friend, is this what they call you?
They call him the Wizard.
Clone Trooper, before we go to Moff Gideon, says, I could see this, in my opinion, going for 1,500 plus in the secondary market, as Key Addy Mundy would say. As Key Addy Mundy would say, I concur. I concur. Before we get to Moff Gideon, single songwriter says in here, limited production numbers also helps Hot Toys live up to their collection name, Hot Toys Collectibles, not just Hot Toys. He gets another one of these, the song.
They call him the Wizard.
Fettuccine, we're moving to that now, says already pre-ordered the Moff. So cool looking. Mecca, I'm right with you. I'm concerned also about Friday the 18th. The full set of hair Anakin. I want that figure. It's a figure I want. Are we going to be able to get it? We'll talk about it later in the show. Hi, back at you. Good to have you in here. Mod Planet 23. Thank you so much. Add a Boba Fett 2.0. Gosh, there's going to be so many Boba Fetts. Absolutely. Let's go to Gideon here. I want to talk about Moff Gideon. I want to talk about this figure. I want to look at this figure. I want to discuss it with you here. I mean, this is a banger, and let's go right to it. Let's go right to what we want to talk about, because everyone's going to be talking about this. Because let's be frank, the first time Hot Toys announced Moff Gideon, the first version, there was some controversy in how it looked. And when that figure came out, and I have that figure, I think it looks like Giancarlo Esposito. I think it looks stunning. I think it looks like a Hot Toy figure. I think it's a fantastic figure. I've got that figure. I could turn my head and I could see him off the glance. From a glance in there, I know where he is. How does that figure, how does that head sculpt compare to what we're seeing here? And first thing I want to talk about is how this thing looks. As a prototype, miles ahead of the prototype of the other Moff Gideon. Not that that wasn't good, that prototype, because I thought it was actually very good. But is this next level head sculpting and artistry coming from the company Hot Toys? Are we starting to see next level likenesses of not just older characters, as many of us have touted for years? They're really good at the older characters. They're really good at some characters like that. Is this now next level, regardless of the age of the character, regardless of the gender of the character, regardless of the character? And I say yes. I really, really do. This is, in my opinion, absolutely stunning and a tremendous effort at a first stab at Moff Gideon from The Mandalorian Season 3. It is absolutely uncanny how well this looks. And when you add in, I mean, look at the textures on the face, if you could see it there on the screen. Man, it is just a work of art. And this is one of those examples where I don't need this to have wool hair. You know, he keeps his hair very, very, very short. And honestly, like if there was a wool hair version on this, his hair is not significant enough to me where I would want that one. I would prefer to have a sculpted hair, which is exactly what I would buy here. I wouldn't feel, oh, I need rooted hair. It's just it's not enough hair for me to do that. This is perfect the way he wears it to have it sculpted. As I mentioned a couple times in the last few shows, I won't need rooted hair on anything, on everything. Anakin, though, his hairstyle from Revenge of the Sith and the way we saw him as Darth Vader before he got burnt to a crisp in the Obi-Wan series, that hair is very significant. I'd love to have that be as live action as possible. Moff Gideon's hair, pretty much the same in all the scenes. Very, very short. Doesn't really change. Give it to me sculpted. I don't need rooted hair at all with some characters like this, any way, shape, or form. That being said, rolling eyes on this, wow. And I think that this looks just so insane. What is your thoughts in the chat? What do you think about this head sculpt compared to the current one, which I actually think is pretty good? AJ puts in here, his comment on this is, I think this new one looks great, but I'm going to think on it for a bit to determine if it's different enough for me to justify the funds and space. But it looks awesome. No, absolutely. You can't buy everything. Always remember that. They're going to be coming out with a ton of stuff, guys. Just about almost every character that you could imagine from The Mandalorian right now, and Mandalorian Season 3, I really feel like they're going to be putting it out. I'm not talking about some of the characters you pass by, on the streets. I'm not talking about those. But some of them you already have. Are you going to get the other armor because they're coming out with that? They already unveiled it. Are you getting the other heavy infantry Mandalorian? That's that's out there. That's already on waitlist. That's gone already. That's another one to talk about. That is gone. Are you going to be getting the other Bo-Katan? That Bo-Katan is wool-rooted hair. Will that have the artisan tag? Will that be a DX? Will you try and get that one? Will that one be limited? Because you're going to have another Bo-Katan that's available as well. But you can't get everything. You simply can't. Because I'm asking myself that same question. First thing that crossed my mind, just going to be honest with you. Oh, maybe I sell the one I have because I think this one's better. There's no doubt in my view this is an upgrade. Nobody knows until it comes out, right? But Hot Toys has been nailing their prototypes. And quite frankly, in my opinion, they've been coming out just a little bit even better. Where it used to be the case where it loses a little bit, but it's still good from the prototype. I think that these have been better than the prototypes on all IPs lately for the most part. So if this comes out like this or even better, but I think for me, I like this character and I like the Mandalorian and I would have room for both of them. This is, for me, a character I wouldn't mind having an extra one of. But there's a whole lot coming out. So am I going to jump on doing this? I don't jump on anything anymore until it really rings in my heart. Hey, I'd like to get it. That Anakin, for me, rooted hair. I really, really want it. So if I'm able to get it, I'm going to jump on it. There's no question about it. Rooted hair Bo-Katan, I don't know. I don't know. By the time I finish thinking about it, she may be gone if it's limited, and I may miss it. And if I miss it, that's okay. Although I love Katie Sackhoff, and I already do have her figure. But I'm not going to go nuts on every single one that they put out. There's certain characters, as a Star Wars fan, I'm going to get them all. You Iron Man collectors know what I'm talking about. You Spider-Man collectors know what I'm talking about. You Boba Fett collectors, if OG fan is in here, shout out to him, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, know what I'm talking about. No matter what Luke they come out with, even if it stinks, I'm going to buy it. But I'm a Luke guy. Some people are like that with Iron Man. Some people are like that with Spider-Man. So it doesn't matter to me, that one I'm getting. Most of the other figures, though, the C-3PO, I'm going to be honest with you. The C-3PO looks really, really good for the Return of the Jedi 40th, especially with that Salacious Crumb. And I'm probably going to have to pass on it. I am getting the Attack of the Clone ones. It's different. It's so different that it's supposed to not be shiny. It's so different that it's not supposed to be shiny. It's supposed to have that wear that it would look good against head-to-head the Tamashii Nation one. It just does, because that's the purpose of it. That's the diecast. I'm going to take that one. Take that one. But there's going to be so many versions of C-3PO. It means a lot to me, but it's not like the Lukes I want to collect. So I'm not going to buy every single thing that comes out, but it's a darn good point. But this Moff Gideon, baby, oh, man. Single Songwriter says, rooted hair will be only for certain figures later on down the road. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think you need it on some of these figures. If they offered it on this, I wouldn't buy it. I don't think the hair on him, you can't even tell if his hair is different on the show at different scenes. It's just too short. It's not needed. Yomo, good to have you in here, baby. Says this sculpt might be a 10. And I say yes. I if it comes out like this, and probably with some good video reviews with a lot of channel creators out there, it could actually prove that out. Mark Attack goes 8 for him. Look, whether it's an 8, a 9, or 10, if you guys and gals are giving this an 8, giving it a 9, giving it a 10, that means it's pretty good. Boba Fettuccine goes, a 2.0 armor is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you have rather have had Boba another one of these, though?
I'm Boba Fett. I'm here to...
Oh, my God. I am right with you. Red in the Ledger goes, all I want from the Mando show is Chrome Mando, Bo-Katan, and Paz Vizsla. Maybe the armor if I find a great deal. You can find a really good deal right now on that armor that's basically the same, Red in the Ledger, in the secondary market right now. Just saying. Absolutely. Let's see what Single Songwriter said here about this. The first Moff goes great with the half dozen stormtroopers and 2 yeah, it does. It does. It really does, Songwriter. When Mando was trapped. I mean, I like that one. I think that's a great figure. I feel like this is an upgrade. I feel like that this is better, but I feel like if you want to collect the Moff Gideons, you certainly have a reason to have them both. But I think for a lot of people, Songwriter, you don't necessarily need to have every version of Moff Gideon. It's just good. And Mod Planet says, I have the season 1 versions of most of these characters, so I will most likely pass. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to do that. Does look good, though. And as we're looking through this figure and talking about it, what he said there, how many collectors feel that way? And how many collectors feel the way Mod Planet does, but then gravitate to that opinion because there's common sense there, and common sense is not actually a bad thing. On the contrary, it's a good thing. When you put that into what's going on with the economy and how a lot of people are short on funds, tight on expendable income, does it make sense to pass on some of these figures? I say yes. I say it does. You can't buy every single thing. When it comes out, you have to be frugal. You have to be mindful. And I think that companies like Hot Toys know that. And they know that, which is why things are coming in much limited more runs. And whether they tell you or not, like the aforementioned quarter scale golden Iron Man to celebrate the Shanghai 1-year anniversary from that store that we just went over and talked about, and with the new serialized version, or whether it's like with the artisan line where they seem to be telling you, hey, limited to 3,000 with the rooted hair, or limited to 4,000, or so on and so forth. They seem to be understanding how people feel, not only like Mod Planet, but also in correlation to the economy as well. And you're starting to see it as well. When this figure comes out, is this figure going to be up for 6 or 8 months? Or is this figure going to be out as long as the collector edition 40th anniversary Vader, which just came out a few months ago, it already has a low stock warning? Or the Clone Commander Fox from the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones already has a low stock warning? Or the Mech Tech Black Panther, or the Christian Bale Dark Knight Trilogy Armory, that's also like that, or that Scout Trooper. And I don't think with any of those you could say yes or no that Moff Gideon would sell more or not. But I think it's all on par. I think they're all going to sell about around the same with those. And even if they don't advertise that it's serialized, even if they don't, Mod Planet, advertise that it's limited to 2 or 3 or 4,000, is it possible that they are, because they're going on wait lists so quick, and even when they're not really high up best-selling wise? And I say, yes, it's possible. Don't think for a second, just because this is not they're not telling you how many numbers. Don't think for a second that they're going to make as much of these as that Moff Gideon that they still have in stock. Listen very carefully. Don't think for a second that this is going to be up for 6 to 8 months. It may be. But I feel like that there's new trends and new things going on. Eric Hankey says, I need 2.0 Armorer as long as they improve it big time. Well, they got to get rid of this. The articulation's not very good. And I don't like the Phillips head screws on the bottom. I'm sorry. I just, you're not going to get me to buy a $200, $300 figure all in with shipping and taxes and give me Phillips head screws on the bottom of a foot. And I could care less if you can't see it. I don't want a Black Series figure. Just saying. I don't. So I give criticism where it's due, honestly, and I don't like that, and everyone knows I don't, and I don't have the figure in my collection. And if this one has the same thing, I'm not buying it. Come on. And Boba Fettuccini puts in a comment here. I think the big test on prototypes versus what's actually released will be Doc Ock when he comes out. No, that's a good one. We're going to see. The sculpt has lots of room for improvement, and I hope they do. And we're going to see on that, but I think like a lot from what we're seeing here, Boba Fettuccini, I think we're going to see that on that Doc Ock. And I think that Doc Ock is going to be coming very, very, very quickly. Mark Attack goes, Aries wants a smelly Luke from the trash compactor. Well, I wouldn't mind any version of Luke, including that one, baby, you know, I would take it, my friend. I absolutely would. But to be honest with you, I'd rather have this one.
Right, I'll see you shortly. There's a meteorite that hit the ground near here. I want to check it out. It won't take long.
And I don't think it's going to take long, no pun intended, for that Luke to come out either. Clone Trooper says Bo-Katan will probably have the old crappy nylon hair instead of wool. I don't know. I don't think they would do that, Clone. I disagree with you. I mean, you may be right because no one knows, right? I don't know. You don't know, but I think they'll make sure it's wool. Because I think they know that what people think, like you said, about the old hair. They think it's crappy. So I think that they're going to kind of keep away. It's kind of like if they make another version like the Jack Sparrow where they had some of the hair sculpted, but some of the hair rooted with the DX15, right? I'm pretty sure it would be wool at this point, but we'll have to. It'll remain to be seen for sure. Casuals in the house. What's going on? Casual Nerd Problem says, sup peeps? Think this head sculpt will fit in the previous Gideon? Yeah, I do. Anyone think that it won't? Anyone think that it won't? And here's a very interesting comment here from Nick Carmen. Says, what if Armor 2.0 comes with an accessory pack like IG did? And what if that's the only way to get Bo-Katan or Axe Woves head sculpt? Well, I tell you what, if they do that, I would applaud them. I think that there could be two avenues. That's a great darn question, Nick. That is a great, phenomenal question. Because I think from a business perspective, it benefits them. First point is, if they do that, they're missing out on selling a whole figure. Because they could go ahead and put Bo-Katan out again with the wool rooted hair, and basically like that Anakin, even though it's a different head sculpt, and sell a whole other figure. So I think that they would be missing out there. And the same thing with Axe, because you're probably going to sell as much as they sold of the original Axe Woves, where in a lot of retail places you could still get Axe Woves, right? You're probably going to sell a lot more of the Axe Woves that you see on my banner, and I really believe is coming very quickly, than you would of the first one. So they would miss out on those sales. However, if they really wanted to push the Armorer 2.0, if they really wanted to sell more volume of the Armorer 2.0, is it possible that they can do that by providing a head sculpt of the Bo-Katan with wool-rooted hair and with Axe Woves? Yes. But I think if they're going to give you Bo-Katan with the rooted hair, I'm just going to say, I think they're going to make it artisan, and I don't think they're going to make the armor that. But it is good thoughts. For sure. Lane still in the house says, I could see people going for this figure after the Anakin and Joker artisan runs are done next week. No, it's a good point, Lane. For sure. Blurred Dad Life says, I think I will go for the Season 1 Gideon at my local shop, as in for under 200. Yeah, I mean, you get some good prices right now, Blurred Dad Life. Go support your local comic shop. Shoot, you can even look at the secondary market, whatever platform you do. And there are some opportunities. Look, there's even some opportunities from a lot of these stores online. Like you could take Sideshow, for instance, and I don't know if you check every day at 12 p.m. Eastern, but they usually have different things that are on sale. And I think that this one has been one of them once in a while. So sometimes you get anywhere from 10 to 25, upwards of 30% off, just saying. And if you got points. So that's another thing to consider too. A lot of good deals all around on a lot of those figures right now. Single Songwriter goes, the days of 20,000 figures are over. Again, Songwriter, you get one of these.
They call him the Wizard.
You guys are watching Six Scale Live. the Dark Jedi Raw with the Dark Jedi. Coffee here. Cheers to you on this beautiful Friday. Breaking down the Iron Man, breaking down this Gideon. Now we're on the Gideon. Cheers to you, baby. I hope all you're well. We filled up a lot of tables. Some tables are waitlisted. And table 2 sitting there is the Mando. And I believe that with this figure, baby, this is the way.
This is the way.
I really do. I really like this. Try to get to a lot of the comments in here. Beskar Kid says, ordered another season 1 Gideon. I love that figure. I'm not getting rid of that figure. And I think this will go well with that if I'm able to get this one, if it fits in. For sure. Going down some of these other comments in here. Yeah, you can. I see what you're saying there, Beskar Kid. You could take one Gideon to put the season 3 head sculpt. Yeah, exactly. For sure. Mark Attack goes, Gideon 1.0 will be given for free next time Sideshow Con. I don't think so. I think I know what you're saying, because they gave away the Captain Marvel for free, didn't they? Right? And wasn't the neon, was it not the neon, the what was it, the see-through? What was that, the invisible, the see-through Iron Man for a time? If you bought a couple figures, you can get that for free, which was pretty cool. And then a lot of people took advantage. Like if you sort everything out best-selling wise, you see the first Captain Marvel, the exclusive one, selling a lot because you're able to get that. And that's a great figure, baby. That, I mean, if you could pick that up, get that for free, or pick that up for what it's going for in the secondary market. There is a Miss Marvel. There is a movie coming out here, and that will definitely have an effect on both of those versions of those figures. And I like that one for sure. But I actually think, Mark Attack, that you're right. But I also think it could also go the route of the Gideon 1. People could actually start jumping on that now instead of getting this with some of this conversation. So I can see a little bit of both going on. Casual Nerd says in here, thanks for the info. I'll keep the previous and try to find this new head sculpt later on. Yeah, I mean, I saw honestly, if you go on eBay, there's a new Matrix Neo head sculpt auction going on right now. I think it was right at $100 instead of getting the Neo figure. There are people jumping all on just getting the new Neo head sculpt. Now, I personally, a lot of you know, I pre-ordered that Neo, and I'm excited about it because I've been looking for a Neo, and I haven't been able to get the original Neo. I want it bad, but that figure is rising in the secondary market. It really, really is. And you can't get that figure right now for anything less than $450 shipped taxes. You just can't. It's really, really hard. So I don't want to pay that. I put parameters on myself saying, darn, maybe someday I'll luck out, be able to find that price. Maybe, we'll get the Matrix from Matrix Reloaded, Matrix 2 or Matrix 3. Maybe we'll get a Neo with the shorter hair, or even from the end of the movie, which don't think it's not possible. You're seeing a lot of low run figures coming out. And especially if they added rolling eyes function, I can 1000%. Remember, you heard it right here from the Hot Toys Wizard. Don't think getting any more Neos is out. Absolutely not. Especially with these limited runs. Gosh, they could put one out 300 pieces. They could get a serialized one. From the second film? Are you kidding me? The third film? I'd love to be able to get that. But I haven't been able to get it. So I got this one here. And I'm able to get this one at the retail price. What was that? $250, $255. So I was like, yay, thank goodness. Because I really wanted a Neo. So that's one that I went after. But I'll maybe I could find the head sculpt. Maybe I could find the head sculpt. We were just talking about that. Maybe the Dark Jedi can find a head sculpt. And I want the original Hot Toys one of the Neo one from the first Matrix movie. And maybe I can do that with this. That would be pretty cool. That could be something. RG says, watch out for rooted hair, dark side Anakin. Don't underestimate the power. The power of dark side Anakin and how that sells. Do not underestimate.
You underestimate my power.
Look at that hair.
You underestimate my power!
Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, Casual says here too, this is a good point. I'm still looking for the Pedro, Mandalorian, and Quill. But as you said, no rush anymore, as new iterations will be shortly coming out. If you got to collect these like Black Series, where you got to have every single figure. If you got to collect these like Black Series, where you got to collect every single figure, you're gonna burn yourself out. If you got the money for it, it's of no consequence, and it's what you're able to do. Then I guess you won't. But exactly, they're coming out with different iterations. They're coming out with 2.0 versions. They're coming out with a Bo-Katan now with wool-rooted hair. They just gave you an updated Anakin with wool-rooted hair instead of the other Anakins that are out there. If you have patience, you absolutely will be able to get more Anakins in the future. And believe it or not, you'll be able to get more Moff Gideons in the future. And believe it or not, casual nerd problems, if you pass on both of these C-3POs, if you passed on the Attack of the Clone ones, and you decide to pass on the Return of the Jedi one, is it possible you're going to be able to get another C-3PO? And I say, yes. Coffee spilling. Come on. The Thor says in here, I'd absolutely pick up the armor if they threw in new head sculpts for Bo-Katan and Axe Woves for sure. It show Hot Toys fans they're flexible. Yeah, totally with you. Absolutely. For sure. And Valiant Archer says, I hope when they officially announce the Armor 2.0, they make it clear if it has double jointed elbows, knees. I hope they do too. Valiant Archer also says, Warner Brothers 100 Original Neo 2.0, D100 Jack Sparrow 2.0. And let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something, brother. That you get to. Valiant, is this what they call you, baby?
They call him the Wizard.
Now I got to go to the thermos because the coffee spilled. It's all over the floor. This one hopefully is a little bit more preventive of spilling. Did you smash that like button? And if you didn't smash that like button, go ahead, baby, and do it right now. It doesn't get your heart rate up too much. You should be able to do it without raising your blood pressure too high. All you got to do, besides believe, is just take your little finger or your thumb, whatever you're doing, trackpad, whatever, pad, phone, and hit the like. Hit it right now, baby. Come on. And, you've hit the like button before. I mean, you've done this before. I mean, you did it then, right? What happens then happens now. Come on.
What happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We passed then.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
Don't miss hitting that like button, baby. Don't miss it. Only the cool stuff. This cool stuff right here at the 6 scale Cantina. Come on. Beskar Kid goes, must have all Star Wars figures. I must obey my master. And, if you do, my friends, as I fill up this table, if you must have that and you obey your master, you will have peace.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy. And we shall have peace.
I bet you guys have missed this. I know I have. Let's continue to look at this figure, baby. And ask Aries anything and ask anything about this figure. What do I think of this head sculpt? I think we're starting to see next level from Hot Toys. And let's talk about this armor, and let's talk about this Mandalorian armor. Are you kidding me? This looks so nice. And you know I don't really collect anything without head sculpts when it comes to Hot Toys and these 6 scale. But I'll be honest with you. Even if it didn't come with the head sculpt of Moff Gideon, I would be tempted. I wouldn't, but I would still be tempted to get this figure. That looks this looks unbelievable. This looks absolutely unbelievable. Let's blow that up a little bit. If I were to guess how much it's going to go for, I don't know if any of you have guessed on price. Looks like a regular base. Thank goodness those sand top, whether it's just a sheet or with those stupid footprints, which I'm so tired of. I'll dig just like the Death Star floor here, or whatever you want to call it, the Imperial Cruiser floor. I think it's going to be around 280, 275 to 285. You're getting a head sculpt, you're getting rolling eyes function, you're getting a helmet. What is Bo-Katan? It was Bo-Katan 285. What do you guys think in there? I think that's probably what we're looking at here. This looks sick. Look, it comes. Let's look. Do they have the accessories in here? That looks great. Yeah, even without the head sculpt. What do you guys and gals think? Would you have gotten this without a head sculpt? I mean, I wouldn't, but I'd be tempted. I wouldn't, and I'd be tempted. They're calling this the Mandalorian. Yep, Mr. Mandalorian Season 3 logo actually looks so good. So good. So good. Next level, baby. It doesn't get any better than this. If this comes out like this, oh. And I'm telling you, I think we have to look at. I think this could get a low stock warning in 2 or 3 months, and I think it's because they're just not going to produce a whole lot of them. Here's another angle. Yeah, this is a work of art from Howard Chan, J.C. Hong, and the gang, and Hot Toys. Work of art. Here's another angle. Good job with these photos. Yeah, that's him. That's him. That's him. That's a stellar job. It says here, newly crafted armored suit with enhanced durability. Good. Because durability and articulation, as we felt the frustration with the armor, is very, very, very important. Let's see everything that it comes with. Separate rolling eyeballs. You got the spear. You got the little hook there. You got the flamethrower flame. You got whatever that is there, that baton. You got the weapon. You got the backpack. You got the flame out of the backpack. You got the base. Again, thank goodness no sand or even a sand little sticker. I just don't want it. Of course, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of hands. Yeah. If I were to guess, I'd say 285. And if this is around 285, I say it's a good price. It may even be less. I mean, did Bo-Katan come with more? I don't know. I feel like maybe it did with that little extra little rail, but it doesn't have rolling eyes function. I say 285. I say it's going to be around the same price as Bo-Katan. What say you in the chat here with this for sure? Let me know. Anybody in there have a guess on what this is going to be? And let's go to some of the chat in here. Red 5 standing by. Aries with Moff announced and Praetorians teased. I know, baby. I know, baby. His new troopers can't be far. Is this what they call you? Red 5?
They call him the Wizard.
Is this listed at Sideshow already? At 280. Darn, I didn't even know. And I was right there. I said around 275 to 285. The sweet spot, right in the middle. $280. Thank you for confirming that. I figured that they were going to stay on there to keep it appealing. You know, I think the days of Mighty Thor being 305 or Cobb Vanth being 300, I don't think you're going to see those days anymore. I think that they learned very, very quickly with this economy on that. And Eric says Sideshow has it up for pre-order. Yep. Yeah, Valiant Archer, I agree. He did look like a boss while doing it. And look, this is a good point. Because just because it's a cameo, just because they're not in there very long, doesn't mean, especially if Hot Toys already has the head sculpt, or has one that they could approve upon, or has already worked with the actor, that they're not going to go ahead and put out a very limited run, which I think that this is what will be. And we're going to get into that. Can you say Yondu? Can you spell Yondu? Do you understand Yondu? Do you know what they call me?
They call him the Wizard.
Future Grail. And it just may be. Especially if it's very, very limited. Like that 40th anniversary Darth Vader, which I think it's going to be. Single Saw Writer puts in here, there may never be another Mandalorian TV show. Exactly, but it's all said and done. I think they're going to go 7-9 seasons. But when it's done, so when all these figures are gone, they are gone for decades until some anniversary years. Very possible. Very possible. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Going through some of these in here. 280 already ordered it. Well, there you go. Good job there, Boba Fettuccine. Awesome. Absolutely. Yondu says Valiant Archer. And Eric says looking to get to. So there you go. $280. So I didn't see what any of you felt about that in there. Let me know in the chat. Are you okay with that? I actually feel like it's actually a better price than Bo-Katan. And I'll be honest with you. The Bo-Katan that I have doesn't have rolling eyes function, which means the one you have doesn't probably, unless you got it, customized. And I feel like this comes with a lot. So good job on Hot Toys Sideshow with this being at $280. I think that's you get the head sculpt with the rolling eyes function. You get you get improvement in head sculpts. You know, they're not with these limited runs. And listen very carefully. This is something that we were all afraid of because it's possible and it's good thinking that when they're coming out with so many and a little bit that the quality would go down. But what you're doing now, what you're seeing now is the contrary. You're seeing the opposite of that. You're seeing the quality go up. You're seeing the production be like, oh my goodness, this is so fantastic. And yes, artistry is subjective. For some people, and maybe for a lot of people, did they miss the mark on capturing Supergirl, Sasha Calle exactly with the prototype? That's debatable. But certainly, are they going to miss the mark, though, when she actually comes out? And I say, no. I think they're going to hit the mark. And I think it's going to be just a phenomenal figure. So until they start showing otherwise, you know, I really think that there's a lot to like at what's going on over here. We're just going to have to buckle up. We're going to have to buckle down. We're going to have to understand that we have to budget and prioritize because we just can't simply get. We simply can't get every single freaking thing. Pulling this up onto the screen. And you can see the batter with the show you're watching. And I'm going to blow it up just a little bit. And there he is, Axe Woves. Can you see Axe Woves on the screen there? How many of you think we are going to get an Axe Woves 2.0 with this actor's head sculpt? Is it possible that this is coming very, very quickly?
And I say, yes.
Why do I say yes? Because of trends, not wishful thinking, not causing a stir. Because of trends. If they gave you a second Mandalorian, heavy infantry Mandalorian, Paz Vizsla, you got to take that into consideration. If they're giving you a second armor while that's in stock, you got to take that under consideration. If they're giving you an obvious new 2.0 Bo-Katan, you got to put that under consideration. If they're giving you a Moff Gideon, which we're seeing right now, you got to take that under consideration. Let me tell you something. Not only are they going to give us this version of Axe Woves, which is certainly going to tick a lot of collectors off that bought the first one, it makes no sense in the world not to capitalize on that simple R&D from that figure and that paint to put that out again. This is not, and I think that they probably rushed to get that figure out and did not have the head sculpt ready at that point, but probably knew from Disney that that actor was being signed again for the Mandalorian season 3. There's things that they know in working with Disney. They understand when they want to put out certain characters, certain licenses, what's going on. They probably had a planned right from the beginning, in my view, on the onset, that they were going to come out with another version of that. With these limited runs, it makes no sense. They sell Mandalorians. Any type of Mandalorian that they could come out with, they absolutely will, which I'm going to show you on the screen coming up over here. So to me, this is a no-brainer. And you're hearing it right here at the Six Scale Cantina, that a absolute Axe Woves from the Wizards Crystal Ball is coming with this. And this one I may have the budget to buy, because I did not buy the original Axe Woves because it doesn't make sense. I'm not displaying Katie Sackhoff with her helmet on. I'm not displaying Sasha Banks, her wrestling name anyway, with her helmet on. The head sculpts are just too good. So it doesn't fit in for him to have this on. But if I could finish that collection, if I could finish that pairing, that 3 pairing with Axe Woves, this is probably one I will dive into. And I think Hot Toys has data that if they did put out this figure, that they would absolutely put it out. It's not a question on whether you would like it or not like it. The question is, are they going to do it? And I think from a business perspective, it makes actually no sense for them not to put this out. And that is a call I'm making right here at the Six Scale Cantina. And Single Songwriter goes, I think your crystal ball is correct at Six Scale Cantina. Axe Woves with head sculpt. You got to look at the trends. You can't just throw these things out unless we're joking around like Lobot, unless we're joking around like the Frog Lady. But with the way things are passing, maybe not so much of a joke anymore. Come on. Does the Wizard see? Kevin's Collectibles is in the house. Does the Wizard see a quarter scale Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary Luke Skywalker figure?
And I say, yes.
Can you imagine Kevin Collectibles if that quarter scale figure is actually artisan or has wool-rooted hair? Can you imagine all the channels and creators that will put up? Because that'll be another new thing. We got another new thing today. What did we get, Kevin Collectibles? We got a new thing today, a new thing from Hot Toys, serialized. We're seeing it with that awesome quarter scale. Speaking of quarter scale, Golden Iron Man, limited to just 300, celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Shanghai score. It's a Shanghai exclusive. So it does make you wonder, right? Would they do that with Luke? The only reason I think that they haven't had a quarter scale Luke, and I'm going to give you the real lowdown here. Truth is, they've only been in existence a little bit over 2 decades. Believe me, they're getting there. That's been my thing with the ships as well. The reason they've been teasing all these ships is not because that Howard wants to waste his time, because he's a mad scientist in his little lair, putting these out just for kicks and giggles, having no business sense at all on what to do. He's not a little mad scientist giggling and just putting these out for kicks and giggles. Unless he likes to dress up like the Emperor and kind of do. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think he has any intention of keeping these, in the crypt, like some of the figures in the past when they were pretty much in their infancy of existence. I actually think that there's the reason why with those ships is because there is a plan. When they can execute that plan is a different story. But when you're talking about a quarter scale, I really believe that that's coming. And always remember, there's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish.
I think another one of those are coming too. Just saying. Just saying. A single songwriter goes, 100% yes. Hot Toys. Got the memo, baby. Come on. A single songwriter goes, I think your Cantina Ball is right. And then he also says, Lobot. Well, that would go good with the freaking Lando. I'm just saying it would. Come on. Come on. Valiant Archer goes, Axe Woves Deluxe with Imperial Cruiser to replicate his dive bomb attack on Gideon's base. Sweet baby. Sweet, sweet pace. Man, the Dark Jedi has been wild this afternoon, bringing all the 6 scale. Hot Toys talk. Single songwriter is calling a quarter scale Fennec Shan to pair with the quarter scale Mandalorian. Are you kidding me, baby?
They call him the Wizard.
Come on. Coffin says 1/6 Jedi Starfighter would pair up nicely with that rooted Anakin. Huh, Aries? Yeah, the only problem is I might damage it because I would do this. I mean, let's just be serious. Axe Woves with a head sculpt, and I say yes. Look, you got to look at the trends. You got to look at the trends. And let's talk about this. Do we think this is coming with this rooted hair? And I say yes. And I'm looking to see how this was going to be, but I 100% believe it could come as an accessory, her head sculpt. And I think it's possible. Someone mentioned that in the chat. I think it makes some business sense to do that. But if I were a betting man, I would say it's a whole new figure that's coming. And you're just going to be able to get, like with Moff Gideon, another version of Bo-Katan. Just like with the armor, another version of the armor. Just like with the heavy infantry Mandalorian, another version of Paz Vizsla. I really, really do. I really, really do. And when we go, well, let's look at all this. It's not just Star Wars. We're going to look at everything together here as I try and pull this up onto the screen. It makes sense with the Axe Woves. Look at this right here. I mean, they got you the female and the male version of 2 other. Anytime that they could pump out a reason to give you another trooper, to give you another Mando, I think that they're going to take advantage of that opportunity. You've got a great reason with Axe Woves being in the Mandalorian Season 3 like he was to put out that figure. I just don't see a chance anywhere that they don't do that. They took advantage of the armor. Even though, look, they're even going to take advantage. That's not the R5D4 that just came out. This is a clean version. So you're getting another version of R5D4 from the Mando Season 3. And look what's right behind here, baby. You've got the IG-11, which I guess now is IG-12. And just like the KX Enforcer droid, where they were able to put out an iteration of K2SO there, they absolutely took advantage to be able to use this mold again, this time with Grogu, using that mold again and giving you that. So I really believe that Axe Woves, along with the Bo-Katan, along with the Moff Gideon, is absolutely coming from the Mando Season 3. That is a whole lot. You already got another full-scale Grogu, and I will tell you, secondary market is hurting. Secondary market is rough. But when it comes to the recent full-scale Grogu that went out, it is not only selling at retail, but selling above. It is super, super, super hot right now. And this is a great move from Hot Toys on this full-scale Mickey Mouse coming out over here. So this is another call here from the Wizards crystal ball. Let's fill up table 5, baby. Like we haven't done that for a while. Look at this. Obviously staying with Star Wars. One of those from the crypt. Now with the full deck. Anything that he kind of teased, there's a reason. There's a rhyme, there's a reason. It's not for happenstance. He's not the mad scientist. Here, I will tell you right now, this Wonder Woman in the secondary market right now, but to save it for the market chart show, $900 dollars. Not the last time, though, and I convinced myself of this. You will get Gal Gadot with rooted hair. Not the last time. Lane, is it the last time we're going to see Christian Bale? Just saying. Lane, Songwriter, last time you see Loki? Loki and the Throne. If there's a reason to come out, and it doesn't matter if the show is old or if the show was past, gosh. Empire Strikes Back was back in 80. And we got the Bespin Luke. Look at that. Mantis. That one Mantis just went on wait list. Gamora. Groot. Look at those from the Guardians. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. There's Kang. Beautiful. Look at this. And this Black Panther already has a low stock warning. Again. And it makes you wonder, how long is that Gideon going to be up? And I think that this has a low stock warning too. That's pretty cool. We talked about that yesterday. Where is that? Coming. They're all coming. Where's this? I cannot wait for this. How many of you are getting this? This base. I love this. I love this. I will tell you right now that when this officially gets announced and you can pre-order it, I don't believe it's up on pre-order. I believe like the Christian Bale Armory or the Mech Tech Black Panther or Clone Commander Fox, 2 months max. Maybe. But I've got to have Indiana Jones. I've got to have Harrison. I mean, where is this figure, guys? Girls, where is this figure? Does anyone have any idea? Does anyone have any idea? Mark Attack goes, what's the holdup for Indy? Valiant Archer goes, that Kang looks great. It does, but I'm going to wait to see what the variant is actually, the Thanos for this saga of the MCU. We'll have to wait and see. Multiverse possibilities are endless. There is a lawsuit with Indiana Jones. Really? Now, is that going on with the movie, or that could be the holdup, my friend? That could be the holdup. I have to get Indy, maybe 2, so I can add a Han Solo head sculpt if Hot Toys doesn't make the young version. Valiant Archer goes, when they said Joker was Thursday and Anakin was Friday for next week's event, I had hoped they'd schedule Indy for Wednesday, but nothing yet for the movie. It's possible, Eric. I know that they've had lawsuits before that hasn't stopped some toy companies from putting stuff out on that end, but maybe that's part of the I don't know. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting for sure. Don't be surprised of a phase 2 Commander Fox. Oh, come on, baby. You know the deal. Come on. Come on. Come
they
on.
call him the Wizard.
Come on. You're right on. They absolutely won't miss that opportunity. Here's another one. How many are you getting this? Going back to Star Wars. This is pretty cool. I will say that this is pretty cool. I haven't decided. Have any of you decided? Are you going to go with this? Would you go with this full scale? Very, very, very interesting. I already decided on this. There's not even a man. That is I love this too. I love this figure. I'm not going to get into the actor or the thing. I love this figure. Absolutely. Absolutely do. Look at these two together. Jeez. Jeez Louise. And speaking of Batman, again, for them to pump these out, look at that, baby. Is this possible with these limited runs, with these low quantities to make sense? You know, somebody mentioned in the chat earlier that Moff Gideon was hardly in The Mandalorian Season 3. Well, this little thing was hardly at all, if you missed it, in the Flash movie. But in my opinion, more than enough to capitalize like this. More than enough to capitalize on George Reeves. Also, from the Flash movie, you've got every version of Superman already available, my friends. Every version already available. This comes from Hot Toys, and you don't got to make a whole lot of them, obviously. How many would jump on this? How many would jump on that? And obviously, I've talked about this, but this was, to me, the cameo of cameos. From the Flash movie. And they've already done this figure a few times. And do I see this in the Wizards' crystal ball? Come on.
And I say yes.
Cameos, and I brought this up before. And you're seeing an opportunity for Moff Gideon. And you can see that this is sold out. You know what I'm talking about. 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 Give me a reason. Besides licensing, which maybe there is, give me a reason with Michael Rooker's cameo appearance from the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Volume 3, that they wouldn't put this out. And the reason can't be because you don't want it, because you didn't tell me you didn't want the armor or another heavy infantry Mandalorian. They did it anyway. Give me a reason. Licensing, I'll buy it. Anything else, I won't. He showed up. This goes for $600 to $800 in the secondary market, even with the crappy economy right now. This is one of those like Han Solo. This is one of those like the DX06 or the DX15. Okay? This is one of those. This is one of those like the two Terminators from the DX series. This is one of those like the original Neo that's up there right now. And you have to start looking at some of this stuff with that, including this. Including this, baby. And can you even imagine Gamora with the wool-rooted hair? And I can. And we haven't seen a tease of her from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 yet. We've seen everything else but her. But she, forget about a cameo. She was in this and was crucial to the storyline, especially when it came to Star-Lord. And that whole reset. Just saying. Just saying. But I know the one that you really want. I know the one that you really need. And I know the one that you're looking for. And it's right there up on the screen, baby. Right there up on the screen. And as I go ahead and change the screen layout here, and I pull this up because it's so apropos. I know you'd want this.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder!
And does the wizard see in his crystal ball that Han is coming? Yes. I really, really good. I really, really do. Almost 10 years. Yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you. Let's go to some of these comments. Let's go to some of these comments. Some of them I'm not going to put up in here. You're making me read through these. No on Babu Frick. I think it'll look good in the collection room, but that would be more of a collection showpiece than really wanting the figure. I'm kind of with you. Let's get nuts. That Doc Umbino said Batman Martin suit will be a grail. I know, baby. I absolutely know. I absolutely know. Come on. The Flash, not so much, but I got them both on pre-order. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Come on. Boba Fettuccine goes, yes, please order a 1966 Batman again, Howard. Again, why wouldn't he? Because right now there's an appetite. There's an appetite for these exclusives. There's an appetite for low production runs. There's an appetite for some of these that are still moving in this economy, like that Adam West original Hot Toys in the secondary market, like the Han Solo, like the Yondu, like the Neo. We were talking about a 100th Neo figure. Warner Brothers. Does it make sense? So did I. And I understand what you're talking about here, Songwriter. Absolutely understand. That Yondu would be released 2.0. And Dog Ampino keeps saying, I keep saying that they will do that. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. The scruffy looking nerve herder line. Look, man. A lot of good stuff here today. A lot of good stuff that we covered. Did you smash that like button? I really do appreciate if you would do that right now as we're talking. And I want to point this out. I'm bringing this up onto the screen. And let me go ahead and make it bigger. And you can see right here is sixscalecantina.com. This is the banner. We talked about all of this today. And what an epic day and what an epic time to collect Hot Toys. But if you go to sixscalecantina.com, you'll see a lot of the cool stuff if you decide to join my channel as a member. Just go to this yellow highlighted section. I just put this out. You can see it here on the screen. Wizard's Crystal Ball, Episode 2. And I talk about George Reeves and the data that substantiates it, and Christopher Reeves, and a 40th anniversary. Rooted hair, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia from the Endor forest scene towards the second half of the film. And then you get Episode 1, where I talk about Adam West, Queen Amidala, Yondu, Indiana Jones. You don't want to miss that. Again, all you got to do, besides believe, click on the little join button in the channel. It's cheaper than a dozen eggs and certainly a gallon of gas right now in most places. I keep it one tier. You can get all of the stuff in the library and ongoing things for sure. Of course, when you go to Six Scale Cantina as well, you can see right here a link to get the Six Scale Cantina mug, which is absolutely awesome as well. And I could blow that up onto the screen so you can see that. It's right here, baby. Six Scale Cantina mug. Is it possible? You have to McWonder. Just go to sixscalecantina.com. You click the link to it. You can get a Six Scale Cantina mug. We can get drunk on coffee together. And again, if you want to join the channel, I always got a lot of neat stuff going up on there. So listen, this was a very special show. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I'll be coming out with a market show, possibly a Norca insider content this weekend. And so look for that this weekend. More stuff is coming out. And you're going to get 6 Scale Raw with the full panel this coming Monday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Your Monday night 6 Scale Hot Toys talk show. Dark Jedi at it once again at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to be there and be square. I had so much fun with you here today. What a great turnout. So awesome. And this is something else that is coming. Let's end with it. Remember, I don't always buy coffee out, but when I do, I do it right here at the Six Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.
All right. But this is the last time.
Working on it.